this segment is how to start a podcast in 2023. So first thing is, before we get into how to start a podcast, should you start a podcast? The answer is absolutely yes. I think that everybody in the world should start a podcast. I think that if you like anything, then you should start a podcast. Part of the creative part of us, we love to express ourselves. Yes. Probably the more important thing is that most of us feel like that we have something to say. We have something to say, but we don't exactly know like how to get that thing out. So what we'll do is like we'll hop on trends like doing like shorts or reels or TikToks and stuff like that, or we'll post videos trying to, do stuff that what everybody else is doing. Like, oh man, I could do that. And then we do it, and then we don't like it, and then it's awkward, and then nobody responds, and it's like, okay, now we're all discouraged and defeated and stuff like that. Or even worse, we do get some responses, and now we got that dopamine hit, boom, and we got to create something else because we got to feed the algorithm. So we got to give them more. And then it becomes a job and stuff like that. So we go through that process, but we really just want to talk. We really want to express. We want to express ourselves. And YouTube is hard. I don't know if y'all noticed that. YouTube is hard. YouTube is crazy hard. Do you know how hard it is to look into a camera and talk and not get any feedback whatsoever? It's hard, man. And like, it's not hard for me because I've been voted one of the 7 funniest people on Facebook. So like, boom, 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 boom. But you may not necessarily have that gift to bring laughter to the masses like I do. So talking to a camera is crazy hard. And when you do it for the first time, even if you're a philanthropist comedian like myself, like that first time, y'all just gonna let me go on. That first time and that second time is really, really awkward and uncomfortable, almost to the point that like I don't really want to do it anymore. And that's where a lot of people just kind of give up on YouTube. That, and we feel like that we need to come up with a particular thing and talk about that particular thing all the time. And we can do that one time. We can do that 2 times. If we're lucky, we can do that 3 times. But when it starts getting past the initial adrenaline stage of, oh my God, I'm starting something. Here I am. I'm doing it. Once you get past that and you start getting to the grind of it, it's hard, man. And then that's where most people drop off. Podcasting isn't hard. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's not hard. You just kind of talk. You kind of talk. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can have bullet points. You can have a script. There are some people that have a big old teleprompter right there, and all they do is just read. You can do so many different things. You can, like me, look, I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, that's not it. Yeah. Maybe would it focus right here? It doesn't matter. So anyway, that's my notes. My notes, I have bullet points. And like I know where I kind of y'all may not be able to tell, or you can, but like I know where I'm going and I know the things that I want to say, but I don't know the exact words that I'm going to use. But I have bullet points. I'm a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Not of Latter-day Saints. I still don't know what they do. I still don't know what the Church of Latter-day Saints do, and if I should be cool with them or not. Like, I don't know. All I know is they had those commercials in the 90s. But preacher of the gospel of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I'm I have the format of here's your points, and then you kind of fill in the points, and so it's a little bit easier for me, and then I'm just kind of I'm just a talker, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit easier for me. So there's so many different ways that you can put a show together, but talking is easy. It's just talking. You get your points and what you want to say, and especially if you do an opinion show. If you do an opinion show, all you got to do is react. And the world love reacts videos. You know what's the number one? You probably do because I just said that sentence. But what's the number one type of video that gets the most likes on social media? Reaction videos. People love reaction videos. So it's very easy to get a piece of news. Beyonce is making you mortgage your house to go see her live. What's my reaction? Boom. That could be a whole show. And if you get a co-host, man, that's even better because it's just two people talking and you're just letting everybody in on the conversation. So should you do a podcast? You absolutely should. That's a very, very, very easy way of getting your thoughts and getting your message out. I'm not going to bore you with the statistics, but I think the latest statistic was only 300,000 active podcasts, which sounds like a lot until you find out that there's 3.8 billion YouTube channels. So which one do you think you're going to have more success on? So should you do a podcast? Yes, you should. How do you do a podcast? First thing, you get the equipment. Easy. What's the equipment? The equipment can be anything that you want. Anything that records sound. You could use it. Most people, really, you can get your iPhone. You can go to voice memo. You can hit record and just start talking. And that's going to create a WAV file. You take that WAV file and you can, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you can do an iPhone. You can do this. You can do, you can get a microphone, get some headphones. Like my setup is, I do content for a very large chunk of my portion. So I have more stuff, but when my first show, Gospel Music Talk Preaching to the Choir, you can still find it. It's somewhere. It's a yellow cover. I got a skull thing beanie on my head. I'm looking like this. You can still find it. I did that on my iPad. And I had a USB mic. So I have an iPad Pro. You should. Come on, hey, y'all. Hey, Adrian, you got a PhD. Get an iPad Pro. So get a little dongle that you can plug in, and then you plug in the microphone into the dongle. And the app that I was using, it was called Backpack. $10. And that mic sounded phenomenal. I think I got the mic for like $30 on Amazon or something like that. Yeah, and I just plugged it in. I got some headphones, and you hit record and you start talking. And you watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos and you learn more and more about sounds and, pads and stuff like that. But yeah, basically that's it. You hit record and you start talking. It creates a file. And then the next thing you do is that you got to find out who's going to host your show. So I started out with Anchor. I'm not a huge Anchor's fine. Anchor's fine. It's a lot of people say Anchor's got their thing, but the um my kind of pseudo hero Valika B. Hey, follow her. Valika B. Set apart and chosen. There you go. So she's awesome. She's super dope. She's killing the game right now. So she actually was like, "Hey, bro, don't use Anchor because you don't really keep it's not really yours, it's theirs." So I was like, "Huh, yeah, I want my stuff." So I went to Buzzsprout. I want to say I was gonna say BuzzFeed, but that's a gossip column. No, it's Buzzsprout. I go to Buzzsprout. I don't pay a lot for the plan. There's a free plan, but pay for the next tier up. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. You can cancel anytime. It's fine. Just do it. And like you upload all of your shows there. Like once you're finished with the show, you just drop it into the thing, the little file. And I don't want to get into the weeds of everything, but then they'll distribute your show everywhere. Like they'll distribute it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, iHeart places. Y'all know wherever you consume your podcast. Amazon Music. I'm on Audible. I'm on Audible. You can go listen to your boy on Audible. It's cool. It's really, really cool. So yeah. And they do all the hard work for you. Like when I was doing preaching with the choir, it was not that easy. It was not that easy. So that's super cool. So yeah, Buzzsprout, those are the people that host me, and you can take this was my thing. The last time I did the podcast, I didn't like for it to work for me. I can't do a whole bunch of like post editing and stuff like that. Like I can't spend 2 and 3 hours editing after I do the show. Like I can't do it. I can't. I probably could. I just don't want to. I don't want to. So I had to find a system that works for me where I could basically do the show, boom, 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 boom. Maybe do some soft editing. I don't know. Maybe not. But like once the show is done, boom, I can drop it in, and then like that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's why like my system is it's a little bit more costly. I wouldn't advise doing this, but I mean I can buy this, but I can't buy Beyonce tickets. So that kind of gives you an idea. So that's how you do it. You find something that you can record in. You can use your iPhone. Don't use an Android because I don't know why anybody would have an Android in 2023. I'm joking, Adrian. You use Android if you got it. Don't. And you have to have a place to host it, and they'll send it out, and then just promote it. Tell people, hey, this is my podcast. Y'all go listen to it. The podcast audience is different because like podcast audience is loyal, but it ain't like social media. It is not like social media. So another conversation next time. Okay. The important juicy stuff. How do you pick your subject matter? Conventional wisdom. If you watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and if you go to a whole bunch of forums and stuff like that, they're going to tell you got to niche down. And once you find a niche, which is a subject matter, which is what the question is, once you find that, then dig a little bit deeper, then dig a little bit deeper, and then dig a little bit deeper. So say you like say you like old TV shows from the 60s. Niching down would say, okay, you like old TV shows from the 60s. What kind of TV shows? I like sci-fi. What kind of sci-fi? Space sci-fi. Okay, what kind of space sci-fi? Star Trek. Okay, what characters do you like in Star Trek? Oh, I like the Klingons. Oh, you like the Klingons. Let's do a show about Klingons in the 60s. That's what niching down is. I tried niching down, and to a degree, I do niche down. My hat is bothering me. There we go. To a degree, I do niche down, but niching down to that degree, in this stage of my life, I can't. Well, I can do it. It's hard for me to do, but probably more importantly, I don't want to. For those of you who I gotta get that sound, man. For those of y'all who known me for a while, y'all know I love Jesus with all my heart and soul. And I've been doing music for quite a while. By the way, I got a new song out, y'all, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's very, very good. Like, it's probably the best song of 2023, y'all. It's an anthem. Y'all got y'all new anthem for 2023. It's really good. It's called Let It Rain. I'll play it for y'all later. So, my podcast was preaching to the choir, gospel music talk, preaching to the choir. I did, was it 3 or 4 shows or something like that? And like two of the shows was about like Trump and white people and stuff like that. And then it was like, it was during George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. So you kind of had to talk about that, right? I got about 4 episodes in and I realized I don't want to talk about this every week. Like, I don't. I love Jesus with all my heart. I don't want to talk about gospel music and the industry and the songs and the choices and the wacky stories that happens in the worship team and the word the choir go. I don't want to talk about that every week. I will talk about that, and I love talking about that. I don't want to talk about it every week. And I'm pretty sure that the issues that you're having is that you may love whatever your discipline is in your field, but you don't necessarily want to talk about that every week. And I think that that's where a lot of podcasters are trapped, because they make shows based on what they think that people want to hear them talk about. So you start getting into, and it's not necessarily all the way people pleasing, but it's, well, this is what I do. This is what my profession is. This is what my area of expertise is in. So yeah, I should do a podcast about that. The issue is that you may be good in it and you may like it. You may love it, but we're whole humans. We're whole humans. We like the circus, and we also like pottery, and we also like politics, and we also like loving hip hop, and we also love Jesus. You know what I mean? And we're also parents, and we also love Nissans, but we don't like electric vehicles. Like, we all have these different parts of us that makes up a whole us. And especially for creative people, if you tell us that we just got to talk about and do one thing for the duration of our show, it's going to drive us crazy. That's why most people quit. Because, oh, well, I'm a clinical nurse, so I guess I have to do a show about medical things and like the hospital all day. But I like puzzles. I like puzzles. I like talking about putting it together and have the strategies in, so we feel trapped in doing something that we feel like that we should do because it's what we spent, it's where we have a discipline in, but we may not necessarily be passionate enough about it to talk about it all the time. I want to offer you a solution that your niche is not your discipline. Your niche is your brain. Your brain is the show. Your brain is the topics. What does that mean? That means that whatever you're thinking about, whatever you feel passionate about at the moment, see if it fits under the general umbrella and the theme of what you want to talk about. And if it does, talk about that. Because guess what? Guess what? The common theme of why people stick to personalities, I just gave it away. Jeez Louise, Gerald. The reason why people stick with people is not so much just because of their knowledge, it's because of their personality. It's something about them, the person that they like, that says, I'm going to ride with this guy. Me as a photographer, when I really got, like, when I dove into photography and stuff like that, like the big person that I followed on YouTube was Peter McKinnon. And Peter McKinnon, he's a great photographer. He's not the best one in the world, but he had so much personality, and he had so much, he was so quirky, and he was so, like, hey man, I connect with him. And there's so many, like, he do tutorials about photography and stuff like that, but there'll be so many videos where he talk about, whatever. And like, the thing about it is that people in your field, you generally like the same things. So even if he wasn't talking about photography, but he was talking about electric vehicles or something like that, I was like, oh yeah. And I liked his take on it because I liked him. You have to introduce people to you, Adrian, the person, and not just your thoughts about your topic. Because I don't really care. Let's be honest. Who really cares about what somebody's base level of knowledge on a certain topic is? It's really the same stuff, right? Like if we are both liberals, we're both liberals. We generally have the same viewpoints. You may see it in a different way. You may see it from this perspective. I may see it from this perspective, but it generally ends up on the same road, generally. So it's not so much the knowledge, but it's your presentation. It's the way that you speak. It's the way that you laugh. It's your quirky, all of the little idiosyncrasies that make you you. Like, those are the things that keeps people listening. Like, if somebody doesn't like me, like, they're not going to make it 57 minutes into this show. But if you're like, oh man, he's kind of funny. I don't know why. I don't know why the internet voted him the top 7 funniest people on Facebook. But I'll hear him out. It's not that I'm saying man, listen, you can get these same tips on YouTube in like 4 minutes. You really can. It's not new information, but it's information through my filter and my experience, and you have a connection to me, so you'll listen to it. That's the thing. Spend time, and I'm talking to Adrian, but I'm talking to y'all too. Y'all, cool kids. Spend time leaning into your personality, like all the quirky parts, all the cool parts, all the intrinsic parts that make you you. The more you lean into that, the more people will decide whether they want to ride with you or whether they don't. And you would think that more times than not, people do. More times than not, people do. And I'll tell you this, and then I'll move on. But I don't know why I'm closing. Like, this ain't my show. But a lot of times, and hey, if this is true, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs up anyway. Just lie to me. But more times than not, people are curious to see like what you're doing, but also it's a bit of like, oh man, I'm kind of proud of them. Look at them. Like they're doing it. That's pretty cool. And even if I don't necessarily like you or want to follow, I'm not necessarily like you. That's not fair. But like, even if I'm not necessarily going to follow you all the way to the end, like, I'll watch just to see like how you do, because I'm rooting for you. You think people hate you? People don't hate you. People are rooting for you. People want to watch you so they can get enough courage to do it themselves. And you have the wonderful opportunity to be that person. Be that person. So anyway, and this is my last tip. This is my last tip, and it's short, but it's very important. You got to start. You just got to start. You got to start, and you got to start very soon. I would say when you watch this, in the next 2 weeks, you should have recorded your first show. And that first show may be terrible. Oh, it may be bad. Probably will be. I'm being gracious. It will be bad. But you got to get through the badness. You got to get through the badness. And you got to just, that first phase, just work on consistency. Don't worry about knocking it out the park. Don't worry about getting a whole bunch of followers. Don't worry about like going crazy with promotion or anything like that. Just be consistent. Like say your day to record is Saturday morning. I don't know why it would be that. As an adult, nobody should be recording on Saturday morning. You should have more responsibility. But say you don't. Say your day is Saturday morning, and for the next 8 weeks, you should have 8 episodes, 1 a week, every Saturday morning. Just consistency. Because, there's this, what's the phrase? It's like pod fatigue. I wish I could, why did I pop my P's that hard? That pod fatigue. I don't know why I put so much emphasis on that. Basically, I think it's like by the 3rd or 4th episode, people burn out and they quit. Because once the initial, man, I'm starting a podcast. Once that goes and you're into the grind of it, most people, it just stop. So I say, give yourself 8 weeks, knock out 8 episodes. If you want to do more, but you definitely know that, hey, at 7:00 in the morning on Saturday, me and that microphone, we got a date. And I won't be late. It's going to be great. What's the Nutty Professor? Friday night at 8. Why y'all let me ramble on like this? It's the whole show. Podcasting is nothing but rambling on. What are y'all talking about? So just start. So let's go over it. Number 1, boom, you should definitely start a podcast. Number 2, at the very minimum, you need something to record in. Could be a phone. And you need a microphone. You don't need a microphone. You should get a microphone. Even if it's your earbuds, even if it's like I wouldn't say AirPods because it's wireless, but some type of earbuds that you can talk into a microphone. Just do it, man. You find a servicer who will, where you can put your shows and who will distribute them out. You can go to Anchor, or you can do Buzzsprout. There's so many. There's Lipson. There's so many of them. There's so many. Just Google podcast carriers. That's probably not even close, but it'll get you where you need to go. I say Buzzsprout. This show is sponsored by the good people at Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout, holla at me, man. Come on. I'm plugging y'all, man. And then, don't worry about finding a niche. Worry about what you're passionate about and talk about that, because the things that you're passionate about is going to come across the best. And you may talk about a 1 week, it may be your dissertation on adolescent growth and hormones, and the next week it may be Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like in these times, figure out what you're passionate about, and then run it through the filter of the things that you want your show to be about. And if it doesn't fit that filter, in these times, just try it, and then you'll know. You'll know if you're like, ugh, I won't go down that road again. And then I'll stay consistent. And the last thing is just start. Give yourself a 2-week timeline that I need to have a show by 2 weeks. And whatever I need to do in between that time, I'll do it. So if I need to hit your boy Gerald up and pick his brain, you more than can. I wanted to deliver that better, but it's getting up there time-wise, so I'm not as sharp as I was at the beginning of this show. But you can feel free to DM me, feel free to call me, feel free to, however you want to reach me. I'll go into plenty of details. I'll tell you exactly what I got. I'll tell you exactly how much it costs, and I'll tell you exactly why I have it. And I want to help you. And cool kids, I want to help you. I don't want to help all of you. I want to help as many people as I can, because I 100% think that it's worth it. And I will listen to what you have to say, because I think that you have great things to say. And I think that your take on the world is worth us hearing. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you start a podcast in 2023.